Welcome to another day card reading, and this one I was actually really excited to see because I have always loved the Hermit, the ninth of the major arcana. I've always related to this guy. He strikes me as someone I really can understand. I'd say get along with, but that would require some interaction, and the Hermit may, at this point, not want a whole lot of that. Sort of defeats the purpose. I was just thinking, my first eBay account was the Hermit 05. Like, I love this card and a lot of what it refers to and what we can learn from it. A lot of folks can picture the more standard version of the card. We see that there, the Rider-Waite version of the Hermit. You can even find that on t-shirts. And then, of course, we've got a more aged version from the Tarot de Marseille, although this was from the Jodorowsky restoration. Interesting thing, too, these all face in the same direction. Usually between several decks we'll get a little variation. And in this case, they all look pretty similar in that regard. In the Black Flame Tarot, however, in the middle one here, I do see a couple things that I like a bit more than these scenic and colorful depictions. In the Black Flame Tarot, we have a lot of purple, don't we? And a lot of darkness. I mean, in these other cards, yeah, I mean, he has a lantern, it has a light, but we don't get a real sense of the darkness in these guys. Here we can barely see parts of the Hermit, and it really gives the sense of isolation and of the need to follow oneself. That light represents one's true self and one's core. The purple I had mentioned for me signifies wisdom. It signifies applied knowledge and experience, which the Hermit has at this point. He's encountered a lot of things, and he's figured out how to move forward, even when he has to do that alone. And I'll tell you, folks, the path of magic, the left-hand path of self-awareness and my will, not thy will, and self-deification can get lonesome. Folks don't understand. Folks get afraid. We can become tempted to stray from our chosen path and to get into something a bit easier and more populous. But then we would betray ourselves. I think the serpent being that we see there behind him, ready to bite, could represent that ever looming decision. We make the decision to work and exist and grow as ourselves, and we have to keep making that decision over and over, because the temptation to give up and to do something easier doesn't stop rearing its ugly head. Apep and Osiris, to talk in terms of Egyptian myth for a moment, want us to stagnate. And we have to keep fighting and keep moving and stay on that path, because we can fall off the wagon real quick and real easy. So I would say what I've gotten out of this card for today: follow yourself, follow those instincts, follow you. Get in touch with that self above the self, or beyond the self. Call it your daemon, call it your holy guardian angel, call it your transcended self, whatever you want to call it that, and get in touch with it. It talks to you through your intuition. It talks to you through your gut feelings, or the feeling you get in the top of your left ear, or wherever you get that. Pay attention to that stuff. Don't discount it. And so I've mentioned I've got following oneself and being in touch with the self to follow. Stay the course. Stay the course. It can get difficult, but you generally know more than you think you do, and you generally have a better idea of what you need to do than you may realize. So don't neglect yourself. Stay in contact with yourself. That sounds kind of silly, but we live in a world obsessed with social media, and for all the attention we give to our selfies, how much time do we spend with ourselves, evaluating ourselves and planning our life course? Do a little bit more of that. Take some time today. Take some time to think, to ponder, to reacquaint with yourself. You may find yourself thinking about some things that you've been through, both good, maybe celebratory, like we see in this corresponding 9 card, or something a little more treacherous and dangerous and life-changing in a tragic or chaotic way. Think about how you dealt with those in a creative way to turn them into something good that you could move forward from, like with the wands. And apply that to now. You may not have a chaotic or catastrophic or celebratory situation, right now, but draw on what you've been through so that you can keep going and make part of that. Make that part of your light. Make what you already know, make that wisdom part of your guiding light. So I think that does it for now. As always, I really hope you have enjoyed this and gotten something from it. Trying to get better at updating this more than 3 days a week, if at all possible. So just in case, keep subscribed so you get the notifications of new material, and regardless of what day you watch it, hopefully it applies. Because the Facebook and the Instagram get updated more frequently than this, please check them out if you like what you see. Follow them. And finally, leave some comments, leave some thoughts. I would love to discuss things that you think I missed, or that I nailed spot on, or to set up a reading on a more personal basis, or for your insights and thoughts. I certainly don't know it all, so I love discussion. Until next time, folks, ponder over this and keep on transforming.